tumbles. Okay. These three are active. What's up with did it say? I don't know. Hold on just a second, chat. All right. Okay. Let's see if this works. Probably won't. Where is this? There. That should have done it. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Always a pain with some of these newer pieces of technology. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Everyone's doing great. This is Siren. And how is everyone today? Hopefully doing all right. I hope. Yesterday was interesting. I should have mentioned on this channel that my primary interest is Star Citizen. Yeah. Um, I'm seems like we have a pretty active year, at least for Star Citizen in general. I wasn't expecting much, let's be honest, early in the year. A little hesitant to say, oh, nothing will nothing will come of this, you know. Now I'm like changing. I have any of you guys tried Xenothreat or anything like that lately? Of curiosity. There. Have any of you guys done Xenothreat or any of the other, you know, oops, wrong picture. I don't know why it's doing that. Trying to phantom echo one of my pictures. Why is it doing that? Okay. All right. That's better. Um, I had a couple more questions answered by the which team? The narrative team, I believe. And it's starting to look like Nyx really is the next system. I mean, really. I mean, well, we've known for a while. You know, those of us who are Star Citizen followers and such, we've known for a while it's Nyx. Trying to find out where these questions were. Lore maker post. Okay. Which would be this is posted at 5 a.m. yesterday. Now, there's a lot of good stuff posted in here that I've been wanting to know for a while. Like NPC mission givers. Why haven't there been any hero NPCs added in a while? Receiving missions through the mobiGlas feels impersonal and doesn't encourage exploration. The answer is there have been a lot of discussions about NPCs lately with the team with design to craft the ultimate 1.0 experience while looking beyond the future updates. You can't really get into the specifics, of course. But yes, the general goal is to promote more interactions in order to make the universe and the mission providers more alive. That being said, it's not a trivial thing to add characters to the game, so we've been trying to figure out how to approach this in a scalable way that will be able to support beyond 1.0. Less on the mission front, but the narrative team has also been taking a larger role in developing the social AI behaviors in the PU. While the stories and characters slated for 1.0 are still being kept under wraps, why? We're aiming to bring improvements in personality to the various landing zones into patches sooner. I'm hoping that's a very soon, honestly. Because honestly, it's yeah. And okay. Nobody on. Keep talking like I know what I'm talking about. Navy exploration. This is something I've wondered for a while. Question: why haven't there been any? Oh wait, I've already seen. Question: does the exploratory or division of the Navy compete with the private sector? Are they just looking for strategic advantages and jump points, or does it include general exploration? Are they looking for the Krell system? Have they been given up on looking for the jump point to the Oratani system? How many secret jump points are the Navy actively using? Is the UEEN Pathfinder Division the new name for the Navy's exploratory division, or the same thing? Answer: exploration is an interesting facet of the verse. Knows. There are a lot of great observations here across all these questions, so we'll try to tackle it piece by piece. First, we're not 100% sure where the term Navy Exploratory Division or UEEN Pathfinder Division came from. If you have a link to a source, please send it our way. We've mentioned exploratory divisions in Whitley's Guide for the Terrapin, as well as the UEN exploratory services in the introduction of the Idris Corvette. There have also been broad mentions of military pathfinders throughout the years, but we also generically refer to explorers of all stripes as pathfinders. The UE, hold on. Let me see. UE exploratory services are not a branch of the military. The department is tasked with both discovering new systems and surveying those discovered by private pathfinders to evaluate whether it is viable for colonization or another purpose. In their primary function of a general exploration, UE pathfinders do compete with private sector pathfinders, but exploration is a tricky business and it's a big universe, so there's plenty of room for everyone. Some of the pathfinders working for both the UEE and private companies might be freelance, but most organizations would also employ their own staff. The military in general also are operating pathfinding patrols and are usually involved in exploring systems that have intrinsic military value, such as ones that lead into known Vanduul systems. Any such jump points would absolutely be kept secret, so there's no telling how many other use. As for the Krell system is concerned, we can neither confirm nor deny. If the UE were to be looking for it, they wouldn't be doing it publicly, and it would be likely antagonize our GM friends. Lastly, regarding the Oratani system, enough time has passed that there's not as much enthusiasm around searching for it. So it's likely that most efforts have died down, but there's always hope. That's disappointing. That's kind of sad to hear too. Vanduul aftermath. So in what state do Vanduul leave the planets they're harvested? Will the environment ever recover? Well, no, not really. When the Vanduul harvesters are finished with a planet, all that's left is a scarred, barren world. It's highly unlikely these planets will never recover. Will recover. Their vibrancy, is that the word? Vibrancy? It's a core part of the tragedy of a Vanduul attack. that these targeted worlds are doomed to exist only as a reminder of the Vanduul's cruelty and their voraciousness. To make matters worse, the Vanduul clans use the resources they gather to fuel their continued advance and produce more weapons of war. Some terraforming scientists have been studying the possibility of revitalizing these worlds should the UEE retake them. But to date, it remains beyond the current capabilities. So that said, planets that have only been partially harvested do have some hope of recovery, which helps to drive some of the urgency of the war effort to push them back. Signage in the verse. Question: is there a universal signage language for traffic signs across the UEE? Answer: we're not the best team to tackle this, so we reached out to the art director of visual identification, Nicholas Fortin. Here's what he had to say in answer. We've started a convention for safety signage in general, but there's still a lot of work to do on this front. At the moment, we are designing these signs with a local flavor approach while doing our best to maintain a certain level of consistency throughout Stanton. Pyro will have a different feel altogether, of course, as would other systems. There's a lot of legacy material in game that we will have to compose with too, but the plan and intention is to bring more structure and consistency to these types of assets in game. So there you have it. Narrative works closely with branding to help review these signs and make sure they're recognizable while feeling distinct to our far future setting. Darn it. Where is the Imperator? Now, I've wondered this one for a while. Where is the Imperator? 4 years into her term, and there's been little word of what she's been doing. Is she aware of what's happening in Stanton Pyro Xenothreat? Did she get her AI legislation through the Senate? Answer: well, Imperator Addison has been busy. The administration has been met with frustration as many of their initiatives have been encountering roadblocks. Probably the most notable change in the Empire so far has been the continued improvement of xeno-diplomatic relations, which were viewed as stronger than ever before. On the technology front, the Better Today Act allowing additional AI research did pass, but in a heavily modified form that deeply weakened the proposed initiative. One major change, was that a Senate committee has to approve all AI research, and so far they've only approved one project relating to improved intra-system communication. The growing crime issue has drawn much of the Imperator's attention away from other campaign goals, and she is stuck in a difficult position of maintaining the war against the Vanduul while trying to protect the people of the Empire. Her expressed desire of education budget was put on hold in favor of allocating resources to security spending. Additionally, recent reports have begun to indicate that there may be some unforeseen issues with the region tech that would not only be a significant blow to her administration, but humanity itself. We'll have to keep an eye out for how that story develops. Uh-oh. Unions during the Mezzer regime. Question: what was the relationship between the Mezzer regime and various guilds unions? Many authoritarian governments, in their pursuit of keeping the working class oppressed, have chosen to significantly weaken or dissolve any existing unions or guilds. Star Citizen orgs like the United Resource Workers fought for workers' rights for centuries before Mezzer killed himself as Ivor Messer. How did he and his successors deal with them, and vice versa? Well, I don't think this person's going to like the answer there at all. Answer. The Measure regime definitely used their power and authority to control and influence unions and guilds across the UEE. One example established in lore involves the Interstellar Transport Guild. Founded in 2391, ITG fought and defended Haller's rights for over a century before Ivar came to power. Yet the guild came under fire in the early 2690s when Hollers and Terra filed a series of lawsuits that exposed a massive corruption scandal where ITG officials secretly funneled member dues to pro-Measure political candidates and organizations. This subversive influence of ITG illustrates how the Measure regime probably dealt with most of the major established unions, allowing entrenched pro-worker organizations to exist and operate, providing their members with the illusion of power. In reality, Measure sycophants and spies would infiltrate or be installed into these groups to monitor and control their actions. Then, during some particularly dark periods, guild members classified by the regime as agitators would be offered special jobs or easily tracked only to disappear or fall victim to some unfortunate fate. Yeah, that typically does happen. While it was advantageous for the Measure regime to keep unions around, they also used their influence to crush groups trying to establish themselves. Many of these new union organizations had their origins in and around Terra. To keep them from spreading, the Measure regime went on the offensive in both overt and covert ways. They banned certain organizations by labeling them as fronts for gangs or the jihad. On the secretive side of things, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of 2806 exposed that the regime threatened to reduce the government contracts awarded to major companies like Aegis and CDS if any of their operations worked with these newer labor groups. Wow. That almost smells like conspiracy. Very much so. But yeah, I mean, it's totally. See, that's exactly why tyrants never prosper. Exactly. And they get what they pay for in the end. Just saying. Lost colony ships. The Whitley's Guide on the Vulture mentions in 2932, a Aegis reclaimer, the General Dogsby, made history with the single most profitable salvage in human history when it discovered and recovered a failed 22nd century colony ship adrift in deep space. The 22nd century implies a date looking like 21XX. However, Artemis, the most famous of the interstellar ships, launched in 2232. Was it intended for the Discovery to have been a failed 23rd century colony ship, or were there other ships, interstellar or only interplanetary in nature, launched before the Artemis? I'm assuming that you didn't intend to solve the mystery of the Artemis as a side note in Whitley's Guide. Perhaps you know more about the other colony ships that were sent, especially the one that was found here. Your instincts are right. Artemis is not the only colony ship found and salvaged by General Dogsby. Artemis was but one of several colony ships humanity sent into deep space in the late 22nd and early 23rd century. Prior to Nick Croshaw becoming the first person to successfully survive a round trip through a jump point in 2271, these ventures were seen as humanity's best chance at expanding our footprint in the verse. While Artemis remains the most famous due to the ship being monitored and piloted by Janus, which at the time was the most complex AI system ever created by humans, the ship's sudden disappearance 14 years prior to the expected date led to wild speculation that the AI was at fault, which galvanized where is it? AI attitudes and legislation that persists to this day in the UAE. For this reason, Artemis is still remembered in the current UAE and spotlighted by the lore. The lore hasn't focused on much of the other colony ships, but it's a rich area for us to dig into. The exact number remains a mystery due to several factors, including lost records due to data corruption. Another confusing matter is that these colony ships were sent by a variety of corporate interests and individual nations in an era before the creation of the UNE. Details about most of these ships, including their intended destinations, reasons for going, crew manifests, supplies on board, have been lost to time and would hamper the chances of their eventual discovery. Now, these two are kind of related to stuff I've asked. People's Alliance locations. Is there a space station the People's Alliance live in? Do they have any sort of militia or navy? Have they built anything besides Levski? The People's Alliance notably inhabit the asteroid base of Levski, which was the site of their proposed new society established to escape from the authoritarianism of the Mezars. They would have a security force to help protect Levski, but in general, with their ethos, it'd be a purely defensive force and probably use lethal force as a last resort. As we start diving into the Nyx as a system, fictionally it would make sense that they would have settlements outside of Levski in the system to help sustain themselves, whether it's mining outposts or the like, but we'll have to keep you posted. That kind of suggests they might be working on Nyx, at least rudimentarily. Hang on. Sorry about that. I had to mute because of there was a phone call. Sorry about that, folks. Anyways, the Moraine, is it intended for this faction to have any representatives presentation outside of Nyx? And can we expect to see any info on them prior to or upon release of Nyx? Our current intention is for the Moraine to remain specific to Nyx, serve as a solid counterpoint to the People's Alliance and occupy an interesting part of the system geography. Though their headquarters on the Glacium Ring in Nyx. In addition, with their intense family focus, it's unlikely the Moraine would grow so large as to expand beyond Nyx. Expect to see more of them as we work toward the system's release in game. Okay. So that kind of hints that, yeah, we're going to probably get something regarding this system sooner or later. And just a second. My nose is all going crazy. Oh, shoot. Did my camera freeze? No, it didn't. It didn't. Okay. What hunts the storm wolves, aka the big, cloud monster? For the most part, storm wolves don't have predators. Like the blue whales on Earth, they're so enormous it takes a huge amount of effort to kill them. Predators don't really like putting more effort into killing them than they put into eating. Humans, who have the benefit of ships and weapons to do the job for them, are about the only thing out there that prey on storm wolves. Let's hope they don't end up hunting them to extinction. There are creatures out there that eat storm wolves. If you'd like a little more insight into Crusader's food chain, when a storm wolf dies of old age or injury, the internal mechanisms that keep it afloat break down, and it begins a gradual descent into the crushing depths of Crusader. Scavengers, zooplankton, kami, and other organisms begin to feed off the dead storm wall as it falls. This in turn causes a spike in reproductive activity, a real boon to the ecosystem, which would make sense. Let me see. Oh, I guess I did forget. Yeah. Hang on just a minute, Chad. Okay. There we go. Okay. Hope the folks over on Rumble can hear me okay. It's being one of those weird days. What do you guys think they're going to talk about tomorrow for ISC? Out of curiosity. While I have an audience, figured I'd ask. Might as well. I'm hoping, this is my hope. I hope we get some new weapons. Because we have had no new FPS weapons in a long, long time. No FPS weapons in a long time. You know, I think we're supposed to have what are they talking about? Star Citizen tomorrow. Does anyone remember? Is it FPS weapons? Please correct me. I don't know. It's it's been a long week. Alien week. Yeah. Weapon content. Okay. So that explains. So we have weapon content team and Star Citizen Live, which are Thursday and Friday. Has anyone been trying out the new Xeno threat too? Out of curiosity? Because I've heard it's super buggy. Like super, super buggy. All right, let's see. Maybe I will. You know what? To hell with it. I'm gonna get in game. Let's get in game for a little bit. See, test the waters a bit. Let's see how things. No. Oh, there's a patch update. Okay. Yes, it's been a couple of days, so there's a patch update. Go figure. Got about 3 GB. Yeah, apparently there was some sort of live patch last night, folks. So if you're playing today, you might have to update. Just so you know. All right, I'm waiting for the game to update. Taking its sweet time, unfortunately. Well, this is going to be a come on. The bad news is I'm probably going to have to fly back out to the Pyro jump point, which sucks. .900 megabytes. Good. All right, chat, here we go. Huh. That must have been a hot patch or something. Must have been because yeah. Huh. Interesting. So well, now that's interesting. It does not look like Xenothreat's running on this server for whatever reason. Uh, well, this genuinely reeks. Hmm. Well, hang on, folks. I'm going to get right into the game as soon as possible. Hold on. This feels kind of boring. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it is just me. This is an early day. It feels kind of blah, kind of folks. Maybe it's just how I feel today. Unfortunately, it does not look like stupid xenothreats active on this server. I got part 1 done. See? On contracts. Accepted. No, it's under priority. Does anyone know if they are going to do it in waves or no? I can't remember. Oh, crap. Let me ask the comment. Damn it, I don't know how to spell today. M. Mill. Ale. I can't spell worth a flip today. Hmm. Can't spell with a flip. Tempted to just go explore for a bit somewhere. Server might be bugged, folks. What it's looking like. I don't know why this person's asking if anyone's out here. It is kind of a bummer. Super frustrating. If I don't get a freaking, you know, that's what's going on. Somebody freaking selling gray crap. Gray market crap and absolutely ridiculous. And with that, unfortunately, I'm gonna have wow. Am I looking for? Oh yeah, armor.
Let me know if there's anything I can help you with.
Let's get some light armor. Oh, I love how people are like, stick up for the bad guy. I'm like, no, don't stick up for him. Go away. Top floor. Clothing. Ah. There.
Smart buy.
Okay.
Nice choice. Smart buy.
Huh.
think you're going to be happy with that.
Oh, I forgot to get the helmet. Oh.
I think you're going to be happy with that.
There we go. Kind of looks a little strange, but okay. I was really hoping my contract would pop back up. It's not. I might have to unfortunately jump out of here. Eat it. It is really irritating when man. Well, seeing as how it's not even popping up, I wonder if they canceled. I don't know. Something's going on. I just don't know what. I'm gonna raid somebody. I gotta go, guys. I have a couple of appointments later today on Twitch. So I apologize, but yeah, unfortunately, this is gonna be a short stream today. So I'll bid thee farewell. Have a great day.
Good morning.
Morning. Why are you whispering?